All right, so in this recording, I'm going to do kind of a crash course overview of the project. Okay, so I have just published our semester project module. So everything that you need from that semester for the semester project is in this module. I will post this video that I'm recording right now, but I also will post my live lecture from spring of 2025. Okay. I will post it here in the fall recorded lectures. That way you can find it relatively easily. Okay. So in the semester project, essentially what we're going to do is we are going to cost out a 4-course menu. It comes out to about 10 recipes. Okay. So you're basically going to cost out 10 recipes, and then we're going to determine how much we should sell that menu item for, or that menu set for, in order to cover all of our expenses. Okay. And we're going to use the concepts that we've talked about in chapter 4. So we're going to do a flat 30% using that food cost percentage method. And then we're also going to do a second one where, remember how we talked about each menu category has a different percentage markup that we talked about on Monday. We're going to talk about that. We're going to do 2 different methods and determine which one yields a higher selling price. Is the 30% a higher selling price? Or if we look at each individual category, is that the different higher selling points? Okay. And then you are going to basically answer, why is this? There we go. Then basically you're going to answer 5 reflective questions. Okay. Now, the majority, the biggest chunk of this project is costing out your recipes. Okay. So the biggest chunk is going to be costing out your recipes. In the project module, again, you have everything that you need. Okay. We are going to be working off menu set 2. So on menu set 2, this is where you find all of your recipes. This probably looks a little bit familiar if you're taking Chef 1300. Okay. So this is where you're going to find all of your recipes. On your assignments area, in the project, you're going to see anything that says menu set 2, that is part of your that's part of your assignment. That's part of your project. Okay. I'll get to that in just a second. Let's go back to the module. Also in the module is the page that you are going to turn in for each recipe. Okay. This is going to be typed, not handwritten. Okay. It's going to be typed, and then everything's going to be submitted on Canvas. Okay. You're not going to turn anything in physically. Okay. So you're going to type everything and download this. In the lecture, the live recorded lecture that I will post, we're actually going to work through the rub recipe. So I'm going to show you how to use all the different tools in the semester project module, and actually go through the entire rub recipe. Okay. Kaylee, no, I would like it typed, please. Okay. This is a professional document. I don't want anything handwritten. Okay. Thank you for asking that question. So I'm going to show you, I'm going to demonstrate how to do the rub recipe. And so everyone should get 100 on the rub recipe because I literally worked through it on the video. Okay. So what I would recommend is maybe as you have my video open, have this document open, have your module open so you can go step by step through the motions. Okay. Next in the module, okay? Worksheet. We are going to use, oops, we're not going to use this one. We're going to use this Chef Tech inventory list, okay? This is an Excel spreadsheet, which you are welcome to download if you want to use it in Excel. However, I recommend that you use it in Canvas. Why? It's a good question. I'm glad you asked. The reason why is because you can more easily search this document when it's all in Canvas. Okay? Who is not familiar with the Control F or Control Find function? Anybody not familiar with that? Okay, this is a game changer. This is how I read 19-page articles in about 3 seconds and be able to find the information that I need when I was taking my quizzes when I was in grad school. Control F. When you click Control F, so hold down Control F is going to pop up this little search bar up here. This works on any website or any PDF, okay? Anything that's online. Jeff, give me an ingredient that we might use in the kitchen.
Cauliflower.
Cauliflower. Okay, you see as I start typing it in, there's one of one. That means cauliflower appears one place in this entire document. Okay, so it's $3.05 on average of 1.33 pounds. Okay, what's another common ingredient that we might use?
Salt.
Salt. Okay, salt appears 6 times on here. So I just push the arrow, click the arrow, and see how it highlights the next one down? And it goes through the entire document, okay? If you download this as an Excel document, and I'll show you in the video so you can watch this. If you download as an Excel document, it typically only searches the tab that's open, not the entire workbook. And so if you download this, this is divided into tabs of produce, dry goods, frozen, whereas on Canvas, it's all one document. So it searches it a lot easier, okay? Something else to think about is I had a student come into class one day and she said, Miss Uminsky, did you know there's a P in raspberries? I said, yes, I did know that. Right? She could not find raspberries on the list because she was spelling it without the P, right? When you're looking for the search, it is looking for specifically what you type in. And so if you're misspelling it, it's going to say it's not there, right? But now for raspberries, we have 5 different raspberries, okay? So that's how you're going to find that information, okay? If it is not in the Chef Tech inventory list, I also have a semester projects notes, okay? Which I have not copied over yet. So I will get that copied over from my previous class. And for whatever reason, it doesn't copy over. So I will get that copied over. Let me demonstrate that real quick. All courses, 10 minutes. Okay, I'm good. Time. STO. Spring 26 or spring 25. Here we go. 2301, spring 25. How many times I've taught this class? Okay, so in the discussions, semester project notes. Cool. So in the semester project notes, if there's like a specific example, so for the chicken breasts, I want you to use the 6 ounces that are 129 each from the Chef Tech inventory list. Okay. So if there's a specific example or specific ingredient I want you to use in the Chef Tech inventory list, if it lists multiple options, I'm going to tell you in the semester project notes which one I want you to use. Okay. Or I also will give you information like this. So one bunch of celery typically contains 8 to 9 medium rib stalks and weighs about 1 pound. So one bunch of celery typically weighs about a pound. Okay. You're going to need that information when you're calculating the cost. Okay. So that's the semester project notes. Last but not least is our volume to weight conversions. Okay, so this is an external website. Our volume to weight conversions website, this is going to help us convert from volume to weights. Okay, so what is an example of a volume measurement?
Cup of flour.
A cup, okay. So a cup is a volume. What else? Tablespoon. And
Teaspoons.
teaspoon. Excellent. Gosh, where's this? I don't want to. There we go. Okay, so tablespoon, teaspoon, quart, gallon, all of those are volume. Okay. And then we have the opposite, not opposite of volume, but weight is going to be like pound, ounces. Okay. Oftentimes we buy flour by the pound, but we measure it by the volume. So we might measure 2 cups of flour. What is the volume of 1 cup? How much is the volume of 1 cup? 1 cup equals
8 ounces.
8 ounces. Okay, good. 8 ounces. But does that flour of that 1 cup of flour, does it weigh 8 ounces? No, it does not. Okay. So that's where this volume to weight conversion is going to help us out. Okay. So we will use this on the rub recipe because we have teaspoons of dry ingredients. So the first question you want to ask yourself when you see a volume like cup, tablespoon, teaspoon, you want to ask yourself, is this a dry ingredient or is it a liquid ingredient? If it's liquid, excuse me, if it's a liquid, then we can say, okay, 1 cup is 8 ounces of liquid, or 1 tablespoon is half of a fluid ounce. But if it's a dry ingredient, we got to come to this website. Okay. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. All right, so volume. Let's say we need 5 teaspoons. So I need 5 teaspoons. I'm going to come down here. I'm going to find US teaspoon. Okay. And then I'm going to type in an ingredient. Let's go with salt. Okay. Now, can I just use this number right here? Ounce, 0.51 ounces. What do you think? Yes or no?
Say no.
The answer is no, because if we look here, select a food, almonds, dry roasted without salt. Am I looking for trying to measure almonds? No, I'm looking for salt. So you click this and you have to scroll down and find the ingredient that you're looking for. Okay. So here we get to salt. It is alphabetized. So salt, HEB, iodized. Those 5 teaspoons of salt is equal to 0.1 or 1.04 ounces or 0.07 pounds. Okay. What I would recommend is that the first time you visit this website, you change the precision to 2. And what that 2 means is that it gives me 2 decimal places. Okay. If we went to a precision of 1, See what happens? Instead of 1.04, it's just 1 ounce. Okay. And so we want to make sure it's on a precision of 2 because 0.07 and 0.1 of pounds are 2 different measurements. Okay. So at least a precision of 2. Okay. Then finally, let's go back to our module and clear the screen. Then finally, we have our quizzes. Okay. Let me find our first quiz. Menu set 2, rub. Okay. How many attempts do you have on the quiz? 99 attempts. That's the maximum I can give you. Canvas won't let me give you any more than that. Okay. So basically what I'm trying to tell you is that you have plenty of attempts, okay, to get this right. The last 4 questions of every quiz is asking for the same information, not the same numbers, but the same information. Okay. So if you subtract 4 from the number of points, that's how many ingredients that recipe has. So in this case, there's 4 ingredients and there's 4 last questions that figure out what our total cost is going to be. Okay. So we preview the quiz. And so on the quiz, it's going to ask me, what is the cost of the chili powder? What's the cost of the salt, the garlic powder, and the chicken breasts? Okay. And then those last 4 questions are going to be the same. Subtotal, Q factor, which is 5% of the subtotal. And then your recipe total cost is these 2 numbers added together. And then the total portion cost, because all of our recipes are set to 32 servings, you're going to divide this total recipe cost divided by 32. Okay. That is a very, very fast and quick overview. Again, I'm going to post the live recorded lecture of the rub recipe. Okay. So I want you to, while I'm out of town next week, your independent study is to watch that video and to do the rub recipe, as well as your 2 project quizzes. Okay. So those 2 project quizzes, project quiz, where are we at? Project prep quiz number 1 and project prep quiz number 2. Let's look at those really quickly, and then we'll call it a day. So in this one, after you've watched that rub recipe, okay, video, you should be able to answer these questions. Okay. So for example, this condensed milk, if we look up here, milk condensed is $43.81 for a case of 24 cans, and each can is 14 ounces each. Okay. So when I come to here, condensed milk, I'm going to come down here and I'm going to identify which one is the best option based on the chart above. In this case, it is 24 cans. That's the 24 each. Okay. So this is just helping me know that you are comfortable reading this Chef Tech inventory list. Okay. And so that's going to be your quiz. You can use that website for how much does 8 cups of flour weigh. Okay. And then let's look at project prep quiz number 2. And then this is going to determine how comfortable you are going from as purchased to the recipe cost and determining what the actual cost is going to be. Okay. So your homework, I'm going to adjust some due dates. Your homework is going to be watch the video, do the rub recipe, and then both project prep quizzes. Okay. And when I get back on the 29th, I'll answer any questions about the project, any difficulties you're having with the rub recipe. Okay. And then we'll go over that on the 29th and we'll start up with chapter 5. All right. Okay. I will see y'all in a week and a half. Okay.
Thank you.
Hopefully by the time I get back on the 25th. So hopefully by Monday, the 29th, I'll be back to normal. But just so you know, when I'm traveling, I'm gonna be 13 hours ahead of y'all. So when we have our class at 8 o'clock in the morning on Monday, my body may still think it's 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock at night. So I'm still gonna, I'm hopefully I won't have a whole lot of jet lag. But let me go ahead and just do attendance real quick, just because I forgot to do that.
Where would
Actually, you know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and mark everybody present. Just keep
Could you
it.
explain the website again for the conversion?
It's in the module. Yep. So in the project module, it is this volume to weight conversion right here. Volume to weight conversions. Okay. Thanks, y'all. I'll post both of these videos.
Bye. Have a safe trip.
Thank you so much. Lorena,
Sorry, enjoy the
Lorena, are you still
games.
on Zoom? Lorena,
Yes, I'm still here.
so looking at your message, it looks like you added up all the popularities and then found the average that way. So that's how we're gonna find the average for the contribution margin. But for the popularity benchmark, that's where you're gonna wanna go and complete this quiz, which is the popularity benchmark average contribution rates. Okay, so go back and review that because this is where you're gonna get that practice of doing 100 divided by the number of items we have, and then multiply by that percentage that's given.
Okay.
That makes sense?
Is there a video to this? Like